Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. It's a day in the life of the pool construction and maintenance business. During today's webinar, we will be featuring one of our solution engineers who will talk about the different perspectives of fellow employees and leaders within pool construction and maintenance businesses. This webinar is brought to you by TeamWorks, a workforce management solution. Couple of items for housekeeping. We are recording today's session and it will be made available to you when the recording is live. If you have any questions, please submit them in the chat feature and we will address them at the end of the session. I'd like to introduce you to Kyle McDonald. Kyle is Axsoft's National Solutions Engineer. He's based in Denver, Colorado, and he brings over a decade of experience in sales and solution engineering. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us today and sharing your insight into this exciting and timely topic.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Yeah, and thanks for that introduction. So I guess without further ado, we'll just go ahead and get started. To talk about the overall daily life of a pool construction and maintenance worker. So yeah, again, first and foremost, what are some issues that we can come across? Maybe stuff like transporting materials, not knowing where they are, or even if they even arrived. Obviously that can be a huge issue. Documenting progress, so not being able to keep track of where you're at in the construction process can lead to obviously lead to huge delays or time mismanagement. Clients also may lose, confidence in your business if you can't even communicate your progress. Maybe there's issues with, manually logging hours, mistakes happen. It can be illegible. Just paperwork, right? And I don't need to harp on that too much, but just paperwork, right? Like either by losing it, it's difficult. Even taking like payments in the field, again, back to that illegibility. So just tons of issues when it comes to that. Yeah, how about cleaning, right? Like not having a checklist, or even if like routine tasks, they typically need to be completed in a certain order, right? And so how do you even know if that's being carried out? So installations and repairs, and looking for cracks, foundation issues, clogged drains, objects removed, heater malfunctions, light fixtures. I mean, the list goes on and on. And then talk a little about materials, but also about like equipment, knowing exactly where it's at and how long it's being used, right? I've heard of other people kind of moonlighting with the company equipment, after hours. So now we can kind of fix that with TeamWorks. And the last thing on there is just, poor communication, right? Not only with your customer, but, back and forth to the office or managers as well. So I guess to start, some challenges with just preparing for a project, right? So what can some of those be? I mean, it's, wasting time and money and gas by having to drive to the office, prior to on-site calls for equipment. Maybe not even knowing what the job scope is and arriving late to customer site by having to stop by, by having to stop by the office. So some solutions, for all that, maybe being able to keep track of your equipment with our asset and vehicle, like GPS trackers allows employees to keep them overnight, which will just save you all that time and money that's currently being wasted by having to go back and forth to the office on a daily basis. And now with digitally outloading the job scope in advance allows for just more accurate timelines and making sure that your employee, actually does the correct job. And then also, clocking in and out in the field just now quickly maximizes output and allows the staff to get to the customer site on time, just allowing for greater customer satisfaction, obviously, which is huge. I was just talking to somebody just the other day about, they're getting their pool cleaned at just a very inopportune time. So she was telling me she was really looking forward to just having that, her Friday afternoon off by, lounging out by the pool. But poor communication from the pool company. She just wasn't aware that, one, that they were showing up later than usual, and two, that she wasn't even supposed to use it for several hours just due to the chemicals being used. And so just, again, having that communication, with your customer just, substantially increases your customer satisfaction. So now that we prepared for the sales call, what are some issues with actually performing the work in the field? So we talked a little bit about poor communication earlier, but even with back and forth to the office, right, or just not being able to communicate at all, or receiving information too slowly. Also, on-site paperwork, just taking too long to fill out. It can be very cumbersome, and also just full of mistakes. And then there's also compliance issues when building new pools as well. So what are some solutions with that? We can easily help with communication by providing workers with the proper tools, updates, and the ability to ask questions, and also automate the flow of information back and forth from the office to the job site. And now we can digitally fill out forms to reduce errors and delays, plus obtaining more details when completing compliance forms. So we prepared for the job, we did the job, and now some issues with completing projects and starting new ones. So one is, poor inventory management, maybe leaving equipment on site, right? And with that is just poor cleanup at construction sites, which again can obviously lead to poor customer satisfaction. And then just inefficiency from moving from one site to another, just due to too many manual processes, which can clearly delay the start of new projects. So again, some solutions to all that, to help with inventory management and cleanup. We can create a more efficient system by collecting equipment and providing cleanup checklists by just being able to document it properly at the end of each job. And with our automating, processes, it just provides more accuracy and just overall higher quality for all that. So, so far we've been talking about just the worker in the field, when there's clearly some challenges, and back in the office, right? So what are some challenges faced by those people? I did speak on, poor communication just between workers and office staff. We can obviously alleviate that with just a more robust channels of communication. Manual data entry, again, just kind of like paperwork, right? Just such a time waster and just has the ability to make, a ton of mistakes on that. Well, with Axoft, it's easy to automate a lot of those back-end processes, just including, for example, timesheets. And speaking of timesheets, just, inaccurately tracking overtime. So now we can eliminate, handwritten sheets and allow managers just to easily access and approve overtime requests, just to really help align with, their project goals. So, and again, it's just staying in the office. Maybe there's some manager and admin challenges. One, just difficulties, verifying proper compliance. And I spoke a little bit about that earlier. But again, how much easier would it be just to have, more detailed and digital checklists, especially for fraud and insurance purposes. So, and just the ability to pull them quickly, and digitally, right away, should you ever need to. Monitoring timelines, we all know that can just be, tedious, but with instant updates from the field, just allows for more accurate timelines and provides better customer support and, again, satisfaction. And then difficulty to keep up with change, and just assignment adjustments. Like, we all know how hard it is to, fluidly keep up the change. I mean, we know that stuff happens, whether it's, people, schedules, equipment malfunctions, maybe the weather's not cooperating, and you name it. So, when the inevitable happens, with our dispatching software, we can easily and instantly reroute workers, with that software and our scheduling software as well. So again, just kind of recap, teamwork, so we can just help out with all those challenges, with it being just a single all-in-one platform. Can really help by, wireless forms, like we spoke about, with compliance issues, checklists, inventory management, dispatching, and, and scheduling, just again, easy schedule and routing of workers, like timekeeping, just accurate time allocated to each job and knowing exactly, how much time each worker is putting in, and also knowing exactly where your employee and equipment is. We're just with both our handset and asset trackers. And then some other features that we haven't really spoke about, geo fences, being able to, lock in areas on a map, for maybe like a job site, or for, trying to see if your equipment or trucks are leaving a particular area. We do have barcode scanning and just the ability to, take payments in the field as well. So just a couple more slides from me. So I do have 2 case studies I'd like to chat about. The first one I mentioned is it was someone who was just, solely using paper forms for, again, stuff like checklists, compliance documentation, timekeeping, and keeping track of equipment. So, with TeamWorks and our form builder, we were able to come in and just instantly provide an ROI, for them by just saving time and completing all those forms, quickly and efficiently. And so now they have just extra ability, and now they have extra abilities like being able to, take photos, being able to, of their progress in the field. So, before, during progress, and, after photos as well, and being able to attach that to the form also. So this next case study, I actually helped out with this one, several months ago, but this was just a customer that was just, completely unorganized. They were just still attempting to arrange just dozens of their employee schedules, on a whiteboard, and, trying to keep track of, customer locations and trying to figure out where they're going. So, but they now luckily have the ability to use our scheduling and dispatching software, mostly just to provide accurate times to the customer. But now there's no downtime for employees in between jobs. They can easily identify scheduling gaps or conflicts, and just giving more time to actually serving the customer. And I don't need to harp on that anymore, but, obviously which allows for more repeat business, which is obviously important, especially for pool maintenance. And I think this is the last slide for me. Just want to touch on our concierge level, service here. So unlike other software companies, and we really do get highly involved, and you get free customer support up to $18,000 annually, a professional service team, which, they help out with like APIs, right? Which is just getting our software to talk to like your software. So if you have, payroll or billing software like ADP, QuickBooks, Kronos, anything like that, as long as they can accept our information, we can talk to them. So we can send that timekeeping information right over. And we also provide other stuff like, monthly account analyses, quarterly business reviews, and et cetera.
As Kyle highlighted, we help thousands of residential, commercial, and industrial service businesses, including pool and spa maintenance and construction companies, achieve benefits such as fewer operational costs, errors, and delays from traditional manual paperwork processes, as well as greater agility and efficiency when scheduling and dispatching employees for customer visits. And reduced overtime expenses, wasted time spent by employees driving to the office while on the clock are minimized due to our mobile timekeeping system. And with our GPS tracking, we're finding that our companies have experienced increased accountability and security for their employees, as well as their business vehicles and their assets. For a limited time, we are offering a free trial offer. Go to TeamWorks or Axsoft.com and you can activate it today. We hope that you start to experience all aspects of our platform and enjoy some of these compelling benefits.
Cool. So, any questions?
So it looks like we have a couple questions, Kyle. I'll share with you the first one. Can you talk more about how pool maintenance companies can handle recurring business efficiently with TeamWorks?
So with recurring business, I'd say we can really help out by scheduling customer visits in advance, and also we can keep track of previous work orders from existing customers, right? So and again, just completely with our dispatching software, but that would allow them just to save client information and provide better customer service.
Great. And this question is a natural build on what you just answered. So when you talked about customer service, obviously it's not just doing the job, but it's also improving customer satisfaction. So how does TeamWorks improve customer satisfaction for pool construction companies?
Yeah, great question. I would say just with, accountability, by keeping administrators just, more in the loop about the progress of, specific projects, right? So when customers sees that, when customers see that their pools are being built or, on or ahead of schedule, that obviously increases, satisfaction. So it just really all ties down just to that communication and honesty.
That's very helpful to know because, from a residential standpoint, it's very much of an emotional decision.
Yeah.
From an industrial and commercial standpoint, it's much more of a financial investment decision to erect pools as well as spas. And my last question that we received from the field is, how does better communication between dispatchers and pool maintenance workers help increase output?
But I guess, yeah, better communication just means more of it. And obviously more communication, the better off, everyone in the party will be. So just, as maintenance jobs come up, dispatchers just can update employees of their instructions just on the fly, right? Just allowing them to complete, any repairs faster and then reroute them to, new customer locations just as needed.
Excellent. Thank you for answering the questions we have today from the audience.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I take it that's it.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening to today's informative presentation, and a huge thank you to Kyle for sharing his expertise and insight from the field. We hope that you enjoyed this and found it worthy of your time and attention. Any questions, feel free to reach out at the URL or the phone number provided on this slide. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you.